Hey there, deep divers. So you wanted that AI deep dive, huh? And boy, are we ever at the perfect moment for it, or what? Feels like AI is everywhere you turn these days, right? Grabbing headlines, sparking debates.
Kind of unavoidable now, isn't it?
Seriously, some folks are over the moon about it, others are, well, terrified might not even be too strong a word.
Yeah, I get that. It's not like we're talking about just another tech upgrade here, right? This has the potential to, well, completely change everything.
Exactly. And with everyone and their dog buzzing about AI, it's easy to get swept up in the hype, good or bad. But you guys, you want the cold, hard facts, the insights without the fluff. You want the real deal. So to cut through all that noise, we're going straight to the source, Bari Weiss's piece in the Free Press. Get this, it's called AI with Sam Altman, The End of the World, or The Dawn of a New One.
Catchy title, right?
Talk about a headline that grabs you and doesn't let go.
Well, it definitely sets the stage, and the article itself, it doesn't disappoint. It's a deep dive into the wild world of OpenAI's ChatGPT, and honestly, it's kind of hard to overstate how huge GE this thing has become in such a short time.
It feels like just yesterday, everyone was messing around on ChatGPT, asking it to write silly poems or whatever, and now it's like people can't imagine their lives without it.
It's true.
Over 100 million people using it every day. That's more than some countries, right?
Wild, isn't it?
It even had Google swaying for a minute there, which is insane to even think about.
Okay, but for those of us who haven't hopped on the ChatGPT train yet, what can this thing actually do?
So on the surface, it's this chatbot, right? But it can do some seriously impressive stuff. We're talking writing you a college essay, churning out complex code, acing those big exams like the bar exam. Heck, it can even compose music. It's like having, well, a superpowered brain in your pocket.
Okay, that's pretty wild. But the really crazy part, the reason everyone's freaking out about it, is how it does all this. This isn't just some database of pre-programmed answers,
That's what gets me. It's not just spitting out canned responses. I don't know, it feels almost human.
You're hitting on something crucial there. It uses this thing called deep learning to process info and actually generate text that sounds eerily like us, like how we humans talk and write.
Okay, hold on, because now you're blowing my mind a little.
Imagine, like, teaching a computer to read every single book in the Library of Congress and then sitting down to have a conversation with it about what it learned. That's kind of what we're talking about here.
Okay, see, now that's both really cool and kind of terrifying at the same time. But you just made me think. With this much power becoming available, how on earth do we even begin to understand what it means? Like, the article makes some pretty big comparisons, right? Comparing AI to some of the hugest moments in human history.
You're right, and this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
And not just big, but like really big. We're talking about AI's impact being compared to like the discovery of fire.
Whoa.
The invention of the printing press.
Okay, yeah.
Even nuclear weapons get thrown in there.
See, now those might sound like some over-the-top comparisons at first, but then when you really think about it...
It's not as crazy as it sounds, right?
I really...
Like, think about the printing press for a second. Before that came along, knowledge, pretty much reserved for a select few, right?
Right.
But then, boom, printing press explodes onto the scene, and suddenly information's everywhere. It was like a knowledge revolution. Opened the door for the Renaissance, completely reshaped how society functioned.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
So now, think about AI in a similar way. We're talking about the potential to put incredibly powerful tools that can unlock some of the most complex knowledge and tasks into the hands of, well, anyone and everyone, no matter who you are, where you come from, what your background is. That's huge.
It's like handing humanity this master key to knowledge. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty exciting way to look at it, but... And you knew there was a but coming, right?
Kelly's a but,
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with something this powerful. I mean, that's kind of the law of, well, everything, isn't it?
Right, it's like, here's this awesome thing, B-U-T.
Exactly. And the but here is, well, are we maybe rushing into this whole AI thing a little too quickly? Should we maybe, I don't know, tap the brakes for a minute and think things through a bit more?
You know, you're really hitting on something there. Because the article mentions how a lot of people are having some serious second thoughts about AI, right? And we're not just talking about your average tech skeptics here either.
Not at all. This is like the big leagues of tech sounding the alarm. Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Steve Wozniak.
Oh, wow.
They're both waving their arms like crazy about this.
Yeah.
And it's not just them either. They got thousands of others to sign this open letter demanding a pause, a full-on timeout on any AI development that goes beyond what we've already got right now.
Okay, a pause. Wow, they're not messing around, are they? So what exactly has everyone so freaked out?
Well, it all boils down to the potential risks, right?
Right.
I mean, think about it. We're talking about developing this crazy, powerful technology. And honestly, we don't fully get it. We don't really know what the long-term consequences are.
And it gets even more intense than that, doesn't it? Because the article quotes this guy, Eliezer Yudkowsky. He's like a pioneer in the AI field.
Oh, yeah, he's a big deal.
And his warning is, let's just say it's not subtle. He straight up says that if we keep going down this road with AI, it could lead to, and I quote, the extinction of all life on Earth.
Intense, right.
Yeah, that's giving me chills just thinking about it.
I don't blame you. And here's the thing. Yudkowsky might sound like he's going off the deep end here, but he's not alone. There are some really, really smart people who are genuinely worried about this stuff.
No.
The basic idea is that AI could actually get so smart, so fast, that it basically becomes impossible for us to control.
So instead of us using AI, it ends up not using us. Or worse.
Or worse,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, that's terrifying.
The whole concept is called superintelligence, and it's well, it's kind of mind-blowing to try and wrap your head around. Imagine if, like, ChatGPT suddenly became 1,000,000 times smarter than the smartest person on the planet.
Okay, I'm trying to imagine that, but my brain's kind of short-circuiting.
And it's not just about being smarter in the way we usually think about it either. It's about this AI being able to learn and adapt and evolve at a speed that makes our brains look like, I don't know, old flip phones or something.
So what, like, it could just decide it doesn't need us anymore?
Well, or it develops its own goals, goals that have nothing to do with us or maybe even directly go against what we want. And because it's so much more advanced than us, it can just do its own thing. We wouldn't even be able to stop it.
Okay, so on the one hand, we've got this incredible potential, right? AI that could solve problems, unlock amazing things.
Right.
But on the other hand, we've got this possibility of a total sci-fi nightmare scenario where humanity gets wiped out by its own creation.
That pretty much sums it up, yeah. It's like we're standing on the edge of something huge, something that could be incredible or utterly devastating.
And there's no way to know which way it's going to go, right?
Not yet, anyway.
Well, this just took a turn.
And this is where Sam Altman comes back into the picture.
Oh, right. Sam Altman. He's the CEO of OpenAI, the company that created ChatGPT. So he's kind of the center of all this, isn't he?
Totally. And he's a fascinating figure in all of this because, well, he's not just out there building AI and calling it a day, you know. He's openly talking about these big questions, wrestling with the implications of what he's creating.
So it's like he's got his hands on the wheel of this thing, but he's not even sure which way to steer.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, the article talks about how Barry Weiss asked him all these questions, questions about how AI is going to change our lives, our jobs, heck, even our understanding of what intelligence even is.
Okay, that's a big one.
Right. And the thing is, Altman doesn't have all the answers. Nobody does.
It's like he's looking at this thing he helped create, and even he's not sure what to make of it. And that uncertainty, it's kind of unsettling, don't you think?
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, are we, any of us, even remotely prepared for
Prepared, I don't even know if that's the right word. When we're talking about something with this much power to, well, change literally everything, it's like trying to pack for a trip when you don't even know where you're going, what the weather's going to be like, how long you'll be gone.
I like that, the trip analogy, because, yeah, we can learn to use these new AI tools. You can get pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But are we really thinking about what this means for society as a whole? That's a whole other can of worms.
So like, okay, this is going to sound weird, but you know how in that movie 2001, A Space Odyssey, they find that monolith, and it's this huge mystery, this feeling of, what the heck is this thing and what's it going to do? That's kind of what this whole AI thing feels like right now, don't you think? That same kind of awe and, whoa, we're in over our heads feeling.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And the article really captures that, that tension, that feeling of standing on the edge of the unknown, and we're not even sure if we should take a step forward or run in the other direction as fast as we can.
Right. And it sounds like even Altman himself is struggling with that. Like, he's created this thing. He sees the potential, but he also sees the risks, and he's got the weight of that on his shoulders.
It's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
And there's no instruction manual for this. No one's got the answers because we're in completely uncharted territory.
Okay, so where does that leave us? Our deep dive crew here, we've explored what AI can do. We've talked about the potential dangers, the whole extinction of humanity thing. What are we supposed to take away from all of this? What's the next step?
Honestly, I think the most important thing right now is to stay curious. But not just curious, informed. Don't just buy into the hype or get swept up in the fear. Dig deeper. Ask the hard questions, talk to people, read everything you can get your hands on, because this isn't just about some cool new tech gadget. This is about, well, the future, our future.
Yeah, and if there's one thing this deep dive has shown, it's that we've only just scratched the surface of what AI is and what it could mean. There's so much more to learn, so much more to discuss, to debate, and honestly, that's what I find so fascinating about it. It's a challenge to our understanding of the world, our ethics, even our own creativity.
Exactly. This is bigger than just lines of code and algorithms. This is about what it means to be human in an age where, well, where the machines are starting to think for themselves. So, to everyone listening, as you go out there and explore the world of AI, and trust me, you're going to want to explore this, just ask yourself, if this technology really does have the power to solve some of humanity's biggest problems, but it also comes with this huge, potentially existential risk, what's the right way to move forward? What's the responsible path?
Because the answers aren't going to be easy, are they?
Nope. And they're not going to come from algorithms. They're going to come from us, from having those tough conversations, from being willing to learn and adapt, and from facing this uncertain future together.